Welcome to Hanoi. This is in the northern parts of Vietnam, and I am so excited to be here. I've had such an amazing adventure already. And I'm very lucky because this year that I'm here is 2025, which marks the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon in South Vietnam, which later became known as Ho Chi Minh City, which is what we know it to be now. Now, I was very lucky to be able to see one of the former prisons that held American POWs during the Vietnam War, including former Senator John McCain, so that was pretty cool. What was also really interesting about this particular prison was that it was used and originally constructed during the French colonial period here, and it was used to hold political prisoners of the time. So there's a dual history in this particular prison. So I want to show you a little bit of what I saw, and so that you can get a taste of it yourself. At the time the prison was built in 1896 by French colonists, it became one of the largest prisons in Indochina, where many Vietnamese who rebelled against the French regime were incarcerated. During the French reign, hundreds of Vietnamese were detained here, including women. These people were often kept in terrible conditions, including lack of water, warmth, and living in confined spaces. In one rather grim and somber room, a guillotine is on display, which was used to behead Vietnamese revolutionary leaders who fought for Vietnam's independence from France. The second major highlight of this museum, of course, is a different perspective behind the American POWs' capture and detainment in the prison, as well as pictures and artifacts left behind from their incarceration. It all began from 1964 to 1973, when many American POWs, mostly pilots and aircraft technicians from the Navy and Air Force, were brought to this very prison. That was when the nickname Hanoi Hilton was coined. Many pictures were taken and artifacts left behind from the American POWs to remember these men who were once detained here. My next adventure took me to Hue, located in central Vietnam. This particular region is very significant to Vietnamese history because it marked the dividing line between North and South Vietnam during the war. I took a tour so that I could not only see the DMZ and other war artifacts for myself, but also learn from a local historian. Our tour guide, whose own father fought on behalf of South Vietnam, was very knowledgeable about the history involving the war. We were first brought to a local museum where we saw some pictures and artifacts of the war before embarking further west to a military combat base where we first saw a helicopter that originally carried passengers and then a second helicopter that carried cargo. Standing on top of a former airport runway, we saw tanks, a plane, a bunker, and we met some guy peddling off medals and other trinkets he said he had found in the area. I decided to try my luck and make a trade for this Marine Corps Dogtag he had with him and hope to find its owner's family one day. How much did you pay? Which one is which?
That's the North Vietnamese one.
North Vietnamese?
This is the Viet Cong.
Viet Cong?
300 for both.
Wow. 300 for both. You got it.
This is about £10.
Next, we were brought to Hien Luong Bridge that was built right on the 17th parallel and marked the line between both North and South Vietnam. Walking across this bridge was like taking a step back in time. To remember how painful this divide was for many Vietnamese who were separated from their loved ones, two statues are set up on either side of the bridge. On the south side, a mother is seen standing with her young daughter, and on the other side of the river, her husband, a soldier for the North, is standing in uniform. So I'm officially at the DMZ. This is the 17th parallel that marks the division between North and South Vietnam. And on this particular side I'm on, it was the former northern side. As you can see over here, the bridge is right over there that crosses over to the southern part of Vietnam. Lots of history here, so many historical artifacts that reflect back to the war, and it's just really amazing being here and seeing all of this. Our final excursion took place in the Vinh Moc Tunnels, where local villagers had to hide on multiple occasions during American raids on the villages. You know, this is almost perfect my height.
Just try and turn. No.
You see, this is the beginning of the tunnel.
I got you in my video. You don't have to crouch down too far.
Underground. Oh, yes, 15 already. You might not feel it, but if you take your...
Wow.
This is the middle, and that is the bottom. Where we are is 15 meter underground, and that is 23 meter underground. We're gonna be there later.
For my final Vietnam adventure, I headed down south to Ho Chi Minh City, which was formerly known as Saigon. I am in Ho Chi Minh City, the city that used to be called Saigon before 1975. And I'm on my way to the War Remnants Museum, which is a really popular Vietnam War museum here in the city. So I'm really excited about seeing it and also seeing what I can learn as well. As you walk into the exhibit, outside you will find helicopters, planes, tanks, bombs, artillery weapons, and a small exhibit showcasing the imprisonment system during the war. Inside, on the bottom floor, you will find a long wall featuring countries that pushed for America to leave Vietnam alone for good. There is also a room that depicts triumphant images of Vietnamese celebrating Reunification Day, or the day South Vietnam officially fell into North Vietnam's hands, the day that the nation officially became united. Walking upstairs, the first room I entered was called War Crimes and featured some of the tactics American soldiers used to interrogate and even kill some of the Vietnamese. I did not film very much inside as the pictures were too graphic and very difficult to look at. Another room showcased the devastating effects of Agent Orange, a toxic chemical used as a weapon that the US sprayed all over Vietnam, including villages, between 1961 and 1971. As the images show, the toxic chemical affected not only the environment but also the people, including US soldiers. The chemical was so poisonous, even offspring of affected individuals faced physical deformities. This included the children of US soldiers returning from the war. Another room called Requiem commemorates those soldiers and civilians whose lives forever changed because of the war. There were more rooms filled with more exhibits, and to be honest, I was grateful when I saw there were no more floors to walk up. The images really struck deep and showed how war affects everyone involved, both the guilty and the innocent.